go to Daneen Borelli, James Carver, and Basil Smikle. Daneen, what do you think President Obama will say, and what do you want to hear President Obama say?
Well, clearly he hasn't said the right things yet, Charles. And listen, America is hurting, and my thoughts and prayers go out to the families of these police officers who were killed last week. President Obama has been playing both sides of the issue, Charles. One message is that this shouldn't be happening, and then the other message is that there is racism and blacks are victims in this country. He needs to stop sending this horrible message across the country. Obama needs to step up and be the leader that he is supposed to be and stop playing race card politics. We have an election that's coming up, and the left is brilliant on pitting people against one another, and it needs to stop.
Basil, what do you make of that? Because one of my big problems also with the so-called victim card is it promotes a sense of hopelessness, and I don't know why it's played over and over again, particularly when there are instances where people need to be held accountable before you start blaming those around them.
Well, I think the president does talk about accountability. I don't think he plays the victim card. I don't think there is a sense of victimization here that the president is trying to promote. I think what we need to know, though, is that there are disparities. I mean, that is on record. There are statistics to back that up. So if we don't focus on why those disparities exist, then I think that's where we have our problems. Look, the surgeon down at the hospital in Dallas said it best yesterday. He had some quite amazing remarks, and he said, look, as an African-American man, I feel a certain way when I'm around police, and there are ways in which I feel discriminated against, but that does not obviate the need to feel a certain level of remorse, a certain level of sadness for what has happened to these police officers. So I think to be able to say that African Americans can only feel one way or another, I think is wrong. I think we should acknowledge that African Americans can feel both that there is discrimination and that we are discriminated against, while still feeling empathy for other groups.
Charles, the shooter said he wanted to kill white people. He said he wanted to kill white police officers. There was no mixing of the message with those points that he made, and this is coming from the police in that vicinity. And what does Obama do? He pivots and says it's about guns. He doesn't want to address that issue. This was a black individual who was a racist individual. Obama doesn't want to talk about that.
James, hold on one second, guys. Let me bring in James Carver, Nassau County PBA president. You know, the night before the shooting, President Obama gave a speech from Europe, and he laid out a bunch of statistics to underscore his point that blacks are being unfairly targeted by police. It's been pointed out since then that there are a whole lot of other stats he could have laid out there, including the degree of crime that blacks commit as a portion of the population, black-on-black crime, which significantly kills more black people than any confrontations between black people and police. Is that the sort of things, James, that makes the job of the police that much harder?
Absolutely. When you're not getting the support of the president, it makes our job a lot difficult. You know, there seems to be a message here that you know, how to act when you have an incident with a police officer, and I don't think enough emphasis is put on it. Is that, you know, don't engage in criminal activity. Sit there and conduct yourself, you know, abide the laws, and when a police officer you know, requests you to do something, it's a lawful order. You have to abide by that order. And again, I think it makes our job tougher out there because, especially with all the social media you have out there and the internet.
Well, there's a camera everywhere these days. One second, Basil, I'm going to let you in, but I do want to ask you, James, when I was growing up, there was the blue wall of silence. I don't think that exists anymore, but those kind of things made it harder for the community to trust the police. I think the police have done a really impressive job over the years of trying to be more transparent and even punishing the occasional bad seed.
Absolutely. That happens in every department. You know, on Long Island, we're not seeing what's happening nationally. Long Island, we have tremendous support from both the minority community and the non-minority community. I mean, Perth did a poll just recently. We were 80% approval rating in non-minority areas and a 72-74% in the minority neighborhoods. It's about, you know, it's about getting out there and interacting with the community, and that's how you gain the trust.
No, listen, I just to say and to add what he has just said, I tell young people all the time to obey police commands because you know, police officers want to go home at night, and I want my young people in my community to be able to go home safely at night as well. So I tell young people to obey police commands.
All right.
I would also say that, look, there are real challenges that communities of color face in their interactions with police officers. That is historic. And I think both communities need to come together to be able to resolve that. There is no culture of criminality or pathology specific to communities of color.
I've only got 20 seconds, but I would like to give Daneen the last word.
I think the tone is set from the top, Charles. Obama continues to be a community activist. He's making these comments. He's inserted himself in issues that he didn't even know what the facts were when he did so. This is a dangerous game to be playing.
All right, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.